Hello, everybody, and welcome to ABR Week 5. This is the featured match of the week, and it is between myself and Juliejuly. Both of us are great individuals, and if I pull up our team names, they are on How to Train Your Flymph, and I am on Sick Semper Tyrikus. Now, I believe our teams are relatively close in the standings. I think at the moment it's 5-3 or something like that. So this match could make or break my team winning the round or my opponents being able to get back into it. Because if it's a draw, the person who wins this match, their team wins. So it's quite important. As such, I was basically given the pick of the litter. So I got to pick my sealed deck basically first. And I went with Polina, the Doctor of Biomir. This one has got some really strong prophecies. We've got Asked Again Later, which of course can trigger 33% of the time. Go Forth and Conquer, so after an enemy creature is used to fight. Heads I win. If my opponent plays a creature of the same house next to one, it triggers, and if they play a creature at all, it triggers. We've not got too much. Contrary to, it says 13 ammo control, we've really not got all that much. The Hoodwink can be quite good. I've played a few games of it now. I think I've played about 10 games or something. The win rate's kind of spirals, it's up and down. We've got 2 borrows. My opponent happens to bring any strong artifacts. Obviously, it's PV sealed, so it's PV versus PV. With that in mind, I have brought one that's a bit more board-based, because there's not as much board control in this set compared to others. Some strategies I found is that the Cursed Loot can be a really strong card to start with, because it's just that disruption in the hand, which really makes it hard for my opponent to get going in the game. I've also got this Forgive or Forget over here, so if it goes relatively quickly, I can archive it again. I have done that a few times. We've got the Hoodwink over in the shadows. So something I do like doing is if I can get a few turns of just playing Marcella with a Hoodwink in hand, I can just keep drawing up those cards in my hand to the point where when I finally play Hoodwink, it can still upwards of like 6. And then obviously we've got some fast Logos in here. We've not got too many free prophecies, so mainly the prophecies I do use will just be used for hand cycling and not really to use the fates. And that's basically everything that is exciting here. And of course, we have got an anomaly. That's what they're called. So I got a bit of board control there. Other than that, it's not really got all that much. But as I said, PV doesn't have a lot of board control. Without further ado, I'm going to send a message to my opponent and say you can make a lobby, and we can get into this. I've not played Keyforge in about a week, so this will be my first one coming back. Hoping it goes all well, and I'm hoping that I'm not disconnect from this game. I will wait for my opponent to make a game. Hoping it looks all good on the recording end as well. I do not know what my opponent's record currently is, but I have lost one game. I lost the first round of ABR. It was a very unfortunate game where I had all the tools to win, and then my opponent had Calp, and I could not get around it. They were like, if they didn't have it for that turn, it would have been fine. But unfortunately, they did. What is my win rate with Polina? It's down here, 57.14. So I've played more than 10 games with it. Hold on, is it sealed? Okay, yeah, it's sealed. So as sealed, I only know their prophecies, and they don't know my deck. So we're gonna have to guess what they have. Obviously, they are also the featured player, so I can imagine they would have had a very strong deck to pick from. So I'm looking at the disc, and I'm thinking immediately, maybe we're going to see some atrocities, some traumatic echoes, some really bad disruption, maybe even cryptic collapse. In the Sanctum, expecting maybe a Trink's Creed. My team didn't have any of those this week. And then in the Shadows, maybe a Cover Fire and a Hoodwink. So we've got certainly a board to start with. I'm going to start with the Marcella. I'm going to keep the hand, tell my opponents good luck, have fun. And we'll just throw out a Marcella, and I will ask again later the Gopher, because drawing cards is nice. If they have some sort of board response, I can immediately destroy it. And the Stomp is also some good response. And the Thunk, I like to play under Look How Far You've Come, because it's just, they play the creature, instantly dies. So not a bad call there at all. So we have got a good hand to start with. We have to see what my opponent follows up with. They did mulligan, so have to keep track of what they play, so we can kind of remember when if they do get to cycling, what we're gonna again face into. We see Sanctum called for my opponent. They now have to guess what I have underneath here. They guess right, which is fine. We know we're going to draw back into Saurian, so this is fine to, if we do get it, we know it when we reap and draw 2 cards that we're going to get another Marcella, which is good. That is fine. Sanctum Enhanced Brutal Consequences. So we're expecting to see a Brigadier Ollis, which has +2 armor for each of his Sanctum neighbors. We are going to be able to go back into Saurian here. I don't mind playing Antagonism without any creatures on the board, and I certainly don't mind playing against Marcella. I get. Do I want to play Stomp? I'll see what happens when I draw. Draw into another Marcella. I think I'm going to keep the Stomp for next turn, and I'm going to Thunk underneath there, and we're going to hope for no Atrocity, and that's not a bad draw. My opponent gives me a card draw. Doesn't really help, but I can then Thunk again next turn. So not bad prophecy wise. They're going to unfortunately wipe my board with Strop. Hopefully they play an Atrocity or something, and I just immediately kill it. That would be great. Might not necessarily be what happens. I think back into Saurian is fine, because we'll get the Curse Loot out. Or we could play the Shadows out. We'll see. We'll see. It might be best to go Shadows, actually, and just prophesize either the Gopher or Stomp. Discards, Banish. They have got their own Ask Again Later. Why did they discard Banish? Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, you don't want me to recycle that. And doesn't play a creature, so whatever this could be, it's not going to be any disruption as the likes of Cosmic Recompense or Strategic Feint or Rage Reset or anything like that. So I'm not too scared. They do have shadows, so it could be something like Chummy or something like that. What have they played so far? So statistically, it's shadows. And it isn't. It's Etheonor. So resolved. Oh, yeah, they revealed Tilnor and resolved the Ollis. Fair enough. We're going to play out the Curse Loot, Moon Cursor, Scylla. Thunk doesn't affect me. And I will throw Gopher underneath there to draw a card. Curse Loot does have a current bug on TCO. It doesn't always destroy itself when my opponent runs out of cards, because it discards a card from them whenever they play one. Sometimes if they prophesize the last one or something, the game gets confused and it doesn't destroy it. Happy to manual mode that. It might happen. We don't know. Looks like we have a strong Logos follow-up. My opponent is guessing incredibly well with my Ask Again Later. That's 2 for 3 so far, I think, for them. So good calls on their part. It's going to go Shadows here. Does activate a Prophecy immediately. So probably quite important if they're not willing to see it get discarded. Urchin will destroy itself with Funk. Does not choose to steal one. they chose to resolve my fate effect first, so it did not steal one from me. Discards an if or an I. They play a full guy and discard broken intent. And that looks like that was the turn. Unfortunate for me. Looks like they're going to steal one from me anyway, because I'm going to destroy it. Unless I want to go Shadows, which I don't. I do want to go Logos here. So we'll go into Logos, we'll call out, and we'll say that it is this time. We are wrong. And it allows them to shuffle their cards back in and draw a card. So that Brutal Consequences will be back, that Urchin will be back, the Ifrin and I will be back, the Intent will be back. We don't really archive all that much, so I'm not really too sad about some of them coming back in. So yeah, let's go ahead and... Do I want to archive the Thunk? I think I do. So I'm going to go into Researcher, and I'm going to archive the Thunk. I'm going to destroy Full Guy and draw. That's fine. We didn't get anything we wanted. Could have scrapped it, but... And then avoided. Oh, I didn't have to destroy that creature. I didn't realise that. Maybe I should have picked one of my own. Oh well. And based on what I have left, don't really want to see shadows in the next hand, so I will throw under the fidget. And we've got a big Saurian hand as a result. Do draw into the Borrow with the Gotha. Poltergeist will destroy my Cursed Loot. But I should be able to bring it back relatively quickly. They do get to get rid of my Moon Cursor as well with the damage pip, which is a shame. But we do have a strong turn coming up, so we'll see if we can make good use of it. Eddy of Dis returns one of my Scutums, which is fine. Would have rather returned the Borrow, but can't have what we want. That's fine. I believe Poise Strike is also currently bugged, so if that destroys at the end of my turn, I'm going to have to manual that, because Down will not be ready, because I'm not going to play Logos. And they go to check on 7. Okay. So into the Saurian here. You have to guess what it will be on top. Sanctum seems the most relevant and reveals a fair game. And they get an extra amber because Tilna is fated, so it heals my Saurian dude. We don't want to do that. Cool. So we go there, we reap there. Scootum something. I'm gonna Scootum the Antanag, so I can stomp it for any one. Defense initiative, so I'll take the armor off there. I'm gonna ward Cha and then exalt it to ward the rest of them. And I don't really want to give them anything. But I don't see myself going back into Saurian. So I'm just going to give them my Valeria. Should have really damaged this one as a result. And then we'll, of course, we'll throw that underneath Borrow. So if this triggers, I'm going to have to... Okay, it doesn't. That's good. Not too far behind at the present. We're just building up a bit of a board, which is what this deck does. My opponent guesses right on Ask Again Later again, which is good for them. Does reveal my Hoodwink, so they know that's coming up. Felder's Plan, that's fine. Gonna play an Urchin to steal one from me. and resolve my fidget. A hawk for no value. Okay, so I'm happy going into Logos here. We're going to hope this isn't nasty, because I'm assuming I'm going to get it wrong. I'm going to go Sanctum again. And I do get it wrong. So it resolves there for an eye. Going to keep the Thunk in there. We're going to discard that because of plan. We're going to archive 2, so the hoodwink goes in there. Broken Intent could hurt us now, which would be a shame. Going to reap and steal one. Going to reap. Going to reap. And I will take the steal one to purge. I'm going to go all in and just hope I get a good turn. So we know we've got the hoodwink tucked away. And we could archive some more shadows. What does the text of it say? For each non-shadows card. Okay, so anything house enhanced is also counted as a shadows card. I'm just going to tuck away some more shadows, I think. Do I want to do that? Or I could go... No, we'll do that. We'll do Saurian. We're now going to put nickels underneath. You don't want to see that. It's probably a Shadows turn we've got cooked up. So we don't mind destroying... Oh yeah, we have Builder's Plan. Oh, that's annoying. They're going to forge, which I don't want them to do. Oops. Okay. That's not ideal. An unfortunate mistake from me there. Hopefully that doesn't bite me too hard. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. That's a mistake on my part, because the hoodwink could have been quite big next turn to steal 6. And now they forge. So, but if they have broken intent, I suppose it doesn't make a difference anyway. They get rid of my burrow. Broken intent, so that's unfortunate. We knew they had it. It's unfortunate they drew it. But I do get to shuffle back into my broken intent, so into my hoodwink, so it's not purged just yet. Orbe comes out to capture 3. And we see Olis played as well. We all get to forge, which is nice. I think Shadows looks like our best play here. I'm not going to draw back into Shadows, so and Spendthrift might be a good idea. Or yeah, looks like the best for me. So Shadows, we're going to play Culver on the left. Urchin to steal 1. Borrow for the Amber. Disrupt my opponent's hand. Or we could both fight Orbade. Don't think that's worth it though. So we don't get to see what we returned, but hopefully it hurts them a little bit. And then we'll Spendthrift to maybe get an Amber back off Char. So not too far behind here. We do have a Parallel Thinking, which will be our strongest form of Amber control for a while. We've got a big Logos turn, if they let us take it. And I might put Reiteration underneath Ask Again Later if they do trigger it. We have no way to discard anything for Culver. This is a close one so far. We're a third of the way through the time. My opponent does give me an amber off chart, which is nice. Hopefully we don't see a hoodwink here. We're going to see Slight come in first. And a Thunk to destroy something. And that is a board wipe in a card, because why not? It's going to capture onto Valeria. We'll do 2 damage to one of my creatures, probably the Darn. Oh no, the Culver. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Gonna reap with the Urchin. We're gonna see a Prophecy. And we don't. Okay, we're given oh yeah, we did see a Prophecy. Okay, we're given a turn here. And I think I'm gonna choose it to go Logos. And I haven't decided whether I'm gonna shuffle everything back in. It might be a good idea because I get 4 amber back. Okay, let's go Logos. What do they have underneath there? I'm going to guess Shadows. I was wrong, so Banish gets discarded. Okay, let's Reap to Archive 2. Not my favourite archive, but I didn't want to draw them, so that's fine. I'll Reap and steal 1. Now at this point, I can wipe. I'm going to Reiteration. I'm going to put that underneath there. I might keep Parallel Thinking in hand. So I could fight Zerp into Slight. It's like, what do I want back? I wouldn't mind Thunk and Urchin back. They would get Thunk, Urchin, Orbade back. I would take the 3 amber. I think we pushed the advantage, because Darn is dead anyway at this point. Do we? Or do we force them to do it? I'm going to choose not to. I'm going to choose not to. I'm going to destroy their Urchin. I'm going to hold the Parallel Thinking. And we unfortunately have to lose our Darn. But we can get to check next turn. And we can guaranteed steal 2 with the Thinking in my archives. So they get Arcane Lighter right, which is unfortunate. Because if they discard a Hoodwink off that or something, that was probably game. We see a fair game happen. They revealed the top card of my deck, Gopher, and revealed my hand to gain 2, and then I discarded Scorpion and revealed their hand, and revealed a Hoodwink. And the Hoodwink happens. That is unfortunate. Could have maybe discarded that, or at least it would have had minimized damage, because they would have discarded 2 cards. We do have an out. Barely. But it's not looking good. Ah, that's so annoying. That was the one thing I needed them to get wrong. Okay, we can stop them, but we're not really drawing any cards, so... Well, we're drawing no cards with the Char, with the Digitalia. Okay. So we have to go Logos. we have to discard our own archives. So I'll discard my archives to steal 2, both actions, and this says if they're of the same type. So my archives to steal 2, Char will steal another one. Cool. It was nice that you avoided my ask again later with Hoodwink. That was also nice. Have to reap. We can destroy this light here. I think we have to, right? Because we can't really stop them otherwise. And I need them to have less options on the board. So gonna exile them. An urchin or something. And then we go fight there, fight there. I think it's a bit too late, unfortunately. We've got no artifact control in the Saurian. It's literally just an urchin and a hoodwink now. So we want to see the defense initiative go. It doesn't help us. And unfortunately we draw none of them. So this is probably game. Even more so if they have a Trank Screed in hand. So they got my ask again later right, unfortunately. Again, that could have really helped us here if they discarded any pips they were going to draw. Bring low, for example. Not another pip, please. Okay, yeah, we're back in it. It's not over yet. Back into Logos, of course. We've got no alternative. I think we actually want to discard Zerp. We'll find out in a second. Have to reap the steal. Take them off check. I'm going to throw this underneath Thunk. And I think I have to scrap the Zerp to give myself more chance of drawing. Because I don't want shadows in hand. And drawing a card, I won't draw a card. Because I won't be able to destroy anything. So I'm going to scrap this to discard Scylla. To then draw 3. Well, yeah, draw 3. Hoodwink. No hoodwink again. Hopefully this will stop them. Okay, discards some great cards for us. That's great. 2 Sanctum cards gone. Hopefully that's all they can do. Okay. I don't think they can get to 7. Please don't get to 7. They don't. Okay. We have a chance. We can't play the nickels, I don't think. Can we afford to play the nickels? Probably, actually. I'm going to go Shadow, or we can go Sanctum. No, we can't go Sanctum because I need to keep these in hand for Hoodwink. So I'm going to go Shadows. I'm going to play down. Oh, yeah, this matters. What have we seen? We've not seen a lot of Shadows, so I'm going to go back into Shadows. Unfortunately, cycles through everyone's key imp, which I could have kept that in there, ask again later. Yeah, I'm going to play the nickels. It's elusive. They could have a brutal consequences or something. But yeah, I mean, think I have to play it in case I have a chance to replay Urchin. Gonna play them the Cursed Loot, so that should slow them down a little bit. And yeah, I mean, I think again we're just gonna have to throw out a Sanctum card, Saurian card, just to hopefully draw into the Hoodwink. So I'm gonna go and throw Valera underneath there. Still don't draw the Hoodwink. Okay, this is probably game now because I've got no counter to them getting above 6. Just have to hope their pip count in hand is really low. A Thunk could make the difference. Oh, that's so annoying. Where are you, Hoodwink? Maybe I should have played the Sanctum, the Saurian. I had to play the Urchin actually, so I couldn't. Oh, that's really annoying. We'll see what they do. Again, just like a Sanctum Reap and a pip will end me, or 2 pips will end me. It's sealed, so they don't know what I have. But yeah, it was a rough game. When that Broken Intent came out when it did, rough. And their own Hoodwink stole what? How much? I think it was in like 3 or something. It could have been a lot worse, but still. And the Bring Low, of course, hurt. Again, they could have discarded the Bring Low that turn, but they didn't. So they gained 2 off a fair game and then stole 3. Yeah. They got to 6. They discarded not something. Hopefully that discards something. Destroys, steals 1. Unfortunate. And that's game. I didn't draw. Okay, I could have. Oh, they returned shard to hand. But it wouldn't have made a difference anyway. Yeah, still not got Hoodwink. And that will be that. Shadows. I continue to get it wrong. GG's. GG, well played. Still haven't got the Hoodwink. Unfortunate there. Very close indeed. Indeed. Frustrated, but not much you can do. That will be that for week 5 of ABR. Congrats to my opponent, Juliejuly, bringing our teams a little bit closer in the standings versus each other. So it could go either way. And I will see you guys next time for a stream or a video. We don't know. We'll see.